I sense something elusive.
Stay a while and listen. Well met. You are not prepared. This better be good.
Existence is mysterious.
Loud and clear.
Hello there.
Greetings, traveler, and welcome to the Blue Recluse.
Welcome to episode 219 of the Blue Recluse. My name is Mans Larsen, and you're listening to the podcast about everything Blizzard. It is Sunday. It is March 3rd, 2019. And guys, we're already in March. What the hell? How you doing, Tom?
Yeah, the year is marching on, and we're in March, Marty.
We're in March.
What's the significance of March? It's not like we started this show in March 5 years ago or anything like that, right?
No.
So it's just another month.
Well, actually, something that's quite significant is that next week, on this day, next week, the next show, we should do a show next week. I'm just putting it out there because there's a big ding happening next Sunday.
A big
next
one?
Sunday.
I thought you'd already turned 40, but okay.
No, not that big. Not that big.
Oh, not that big. almost that big.
I'm getting close to being able to buy my normal ground mount in vanilla.
Yeah. Do it, man. Spend that. How much was that back in the day? That was like 100 gold.
100 gold, I think.
Oh,
Yeah,
that was big bucks.
it was big bucks. Nowadays, it's not even a herb.
Hey, if you don't have your professions leveled up, okay, 100 gold is still a lot for you right now.
How are you doing, Michael?
I'm
Are
doing-
your professions leveled up?
I just recently restarted a profession I never started it. I'm doing herbalism now. I was doing blacksmithing and mining for the longest, and then I realized, why am I still doing this? Like, it provides nothing for the raid. It doesn't help me at all.
They call him Michael Peacebloom Skarzinski now.
Just Beast Bloom. I'm just in Elwyn Forge getting the wrong things. Hey guys, I brought the Beast Bloom. Okay, good. Too bad it doesn't work. But also, it is significant. I don't know what it is for you guys over there, but here in the States, I believe March is Women's History Month.
Who?
Women's History. Like, we had Black History Month in February, and we have Women's History in March. So
Cool.
it's a good month to show some appreciation, although you should be doing it all the time, but showing some appreciation for the ladies and just being a fan of all that they do.
I like it.
Wow.
Damn.
Now we
I
know
don't
Marty's
agree with that.
stance on it.
I don't agree with that sound bite at all.
Right?
Sorry.
Jeez.
You clicked the wrong one, right, Marty?
Yeah, I clicked the
You
wrong
meant to
one.
have the applause.
Yeah, I don't even have an applause, but fine. So how is it going in Blizzard Gaming Land? Have you guys been doing anything?
Yes.
I know for me personally, I've jumped a little bit back into World of Warcraft. I joined my guild's social/alt raids. Raid so far last week. Done one, but we cleared everything, and I really enjoy the new raid. It's really good fun, and I felt like, hey, this is good fun. I might actually want to do this on higher difficulties than normal. Maybe, who knows?
Ooh. I've actually...
There he is. There he is. He's back. I knew that side of Marty. When Marty was like, I'm going to give up raiding this year. It's like, nope. You can take the rating out of the man or something like that. You can't take the man out of rating. I don't know. Did I get that wrong?
Yes.
Probably.
Just
Go
saying,
ahead, Michael.
It's pretty much like saying, like, when you hear Gandalf say, hey, I'll be here at this time, you're expecting him to show up sometime late and in the wrong location. Alright? That's Marty with raiding. He says he's gonna go away, but you never know when he'll come back. I started raid tanking. I was last week, so we've cleared the first 7 bosses on normal, but we haven't been able to get down Stormwall Blockade. So we were just going through trying to see how far we could go. And they're like, hey, do you want to try your hand at tanking tonight? And I was like, sure. So I went ahead and I had a pretty good time, and I have never been so stressed like for a 3-hour period of time. Like I was playing and I was just stressed out the whole time, and they're like, hey, you did pretty well tonight, how'd you feel? And I was like, stressed, my hands are tight, they're sweaty. But raid tanking, I think, is easier than dungeons, at least in my opinion. At least easier than Mythic Plus, let me say that.
You got big shoulders, Michael. You got big shoulders to carry, the responsibility of all your raid team members.
And actually, speaking of tanking, my I leveled my warrior dwarf up to level 120 to do the heritage armor quest, and I just kept gearing him, and I mean, first of all, the catch-up mechanics is crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Because I didn't set foot inside a dungeon, and I think I got to like 355 or something gear item level without actually setting step inside a single dungeon, or maybe 1 or 2 dungeons, something like that. And then some of my guildies the other night were like, "Hey, we need a tank for just some heroics," and I was like, "Yeah, sure, I could join in on that." And we did a few, and they were like, "Hey, let's go do some mythic, just zeros, the normal mythics." And I was like, "Yeah, sure, let's do that." And we did that as well, and it was no issue at all. Got some upgrades from there, and was actually pretty good fun. So getting back into the game if you've been away, I mean, once you hit level 120, just I think what I did was just log in like once every day and just did like just looked at the world quests and just oh, there's a gear upgrade, go for that one, and that's basically it. And after a week of doing that, 7 days of doing that, I was ready to go do stuff. So, and that's just me taking it casually. If you go ham, I guess you can probably get gear in a day or two.
Jeez, I did a Warfront last night and was just like, why am I here? Like, I seriously, like, it was a Wrathy, so it wasn't too bad. We were able to steamroll it pretty well, as long as you have people that understand like the mechanics in terms of get like,
other mechanics,
like get the iron and stuff, because you can't push the gate until you get the siege engines or whatever. So
yeah,
until you
I'm
get
all about
those.
going out, killing the spiders. Just, I feel like let's thin the spider population down in Iraqi. I feel like that is a noble quest.
No,
to
they
at least-
eat the bad bugs. Leave the spiders alone.
The bed bugs?
Yes, the bed bugs. Other than World of Warcraft, I've actually been playing some Hearthstone again. Tom kind of got me in the mood, I think, last time he was talking about it, and I started playing some Hearthstone.
I like when I get you in the mood, Michael.
I do too. It never fails to satisfy. But what was it? They had that quest where it was repeatable like 3 times, where you play. All you had to do was play an arena, and they
Tavern Brawl.
Yeah, Tavern Brawl, and you got to choose your troll champion and go through that. And I was like, hey, this is pretty fun. Whenever there's something where I don't have to pick a deck, and I can just have fun with it and still feel like I'm doing something, Hearthstone is the best. Otherwise, I'll steer clear. But
Yeah, so I think we talked about it like on the last show where you were asking about the PvE side of Hearthstone, and they turned this into a brawl. Like, this is kind of how the Rumble run works, where you pick a troll champion and you get a shrine which has a certain ability, and the last 3 weeks in Tavern Brawl they've been throwing together these troll champions with different shrines each week just to mix it up, and they've been putting that quest in as well, that you play Tavern Brawl 3 times and you get a Rastakhan Rumble card pack as well. It's been a really cool event. I've really enjoyed doing Tavern Brawl the last 3 weeks. I mean, I usually, some weeks it's hit and miss, but this has been like a really solid event, and I'm really hoping that we kind of see more just things about this. I know we're going to be talking about it very shortly as well, but I just like little things where you just get a little something extra, and I think when there's specific like theme decks as well, it just seems like there's a bit more effort put into that side of things. It's not just, oh, it's the spider one or the banana one. Fortunately, we've only seen the banana one once, but the spider one rears its head sometimes and makes everyone sad, makes everyone on the Reddit very unhappy. Except Marty, he loves it.
I love bananas. Just one last thing.
I was talking about the spider one. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh my god.
The
Jeez.
banana one. You also mentioned the banana one.
I did. I regret it. I regret it all.
That's the one I was talking about. Anyway, just one last thing that I just realized I did as well was, good old world PvP. You can turn it on and off if you want to.
Oh,
I
yeah.
have mainly been playing with it off. But I actually, the other day, I was like on my main, and I was like, hey, I've actually never really done this, and I realized that there actually is like an area with PvP quests.
Mm-hmm.
In the main city. So I went there, I picked up the quests, and I was like, oh, I don't know if it's a weekly or what it is, where you need to kill like 25 hordes, and there's also one for killing 10 hordes and stuff like that. And I just, I saw, oh, they have some decent item level items on them, so maybe I should go check them out. So I picked up the quests, and I went into the dungeon, the group finder, and found a group that did it and joined in, and actually I had some good fun just strolling around. We actually went straight for the Horde City and just killing hordes inside their own city. And I was like, this is I don't know how this works, how we can do this, but it's fun. We actually killing stuff, and me as a healer, keeping people alive, and yeah, I actually had some good world PvP fun.
Yeah, the only problem that I have about it is that the like you said, you didn't know that there was an area where you could get the PvP quest. Like, why is it not more prominent on the map? Like, you see it when you're in Borealis for like your weekly. It'd be like, hey, do 5 arena skirmishes, do 5 time walking dungeons. You see that one, but it doesn't tell you that, like, hey, go down the steps all the way on this backside. It's like PvP was tucked away in Borealis, like in the seedy underparts of it, where like only PvPers go there. But like, why is it not advertised? Like,
yeah, I don't know, and I saw the Taliesin and Evitel video as well, where Taliesin is saying that the Horde PvP event, and nobody has actually found it yet, which is quite funny because I actually have found it, but it is really remote. It's in such a strange location. It's not near anything, and
It's one of those hidden puzzles that the developers put in like, the hive mind. It's it's up there. They're on the Discord, the puzzle solving Discord. They're still trying to work that one out. But Marty's apparently found it, so you could I would go over there, Marty, and just blow people's minds.
Yeah,
Drop some
okay,
coordinates down there.
Yeah, just hey, have you guys looked over here?
Oh my god, there it is.
I found him. Everyone, add me to your party. Fly to me. Oh wait, flying's still not in yet.
Sure, I'll
soon.
invite all of you if you go listen to the Blue Recluse podcast.
Hold on, because it's not in the show notes, but I have a
Okay.
gripe. How is flying not coming in 8.1.5? I feel like it's like ready, like we should have flying by now, or at
Well,
least the
cares
quest,
about
is-
or at least like the
blueprint
quest
is
line.
8.2 or 0.2. That's when it comes.
cares
But
about
why?
flying?
Like, it seems like I've been running around forever now. Like, I have the quest and I'll be ready for Pathfinder Part 2. I need it.
I don't miss it. I don't miss flying. I think it's fine. I think it's
Okay, so I do feel like once flying is introduced, then the PvP is gonna kind of go away a bit. Because part of the fun is running around and then finding like a random person and then start dueling and people come across you.
Although, I looked into this. There's something to do with when you have war mode on. I think you get an ability, and it's like a net ability to knock people off flying mounts. That you like fire a net at them, and it takes them off their flying mount. Maybe I dreamt that, but I specifically remember the situation where like, well, once flying comes in, war mode's gonna be crap because people are just gonna be flying around and.
So truthfully,
yeah.
like I only want it so I can like fly straight to like the world quest, rather than like, oh, let me go to the corner of Nazmir and then have to run through the entirety of the freaking desert and just aggro everything but don't kill anything. Like, it's just kind of annoying. But
I don't know. I think that's part of the fun for me to look at the World Quest map and be like, sort of like plan my route and be like, all right, I want to do this, and this, and just try to. I think it's just the min-max in me who's like, oh, if I go here, then I can run down here and do this one as well, and just kill the boss and then keep going, stuff like that.
what a nerd map planning.
That's
Not what I
that's
played
how
this game for.
That's how I play, I guess. Anyway, speaking of flying mounts, a game where we won't be having that is World of Warcraft Classic. We didn't have flying mounts back then. We had
No.
other bugs instead.
We did have our bugs. I do like that. Yeah. Bug mounts. I thought you were making an Anchorage joke. I don't know. Was it?
Yeah,
No?
that as well. I guess you could say
Boom.
that. But what I actually was referring to was that I read somewhere today that there was actually some things in Vanilla Classic that when the developers started recreating Vanilla the Classic server, they found out stuff that they actually thought were bugs back then was actually intended. That's how it was supposed to be. I just thought that was quite funny. But yeah, we got an update about the World of Warcraft Classic servers. Isn't that right?
Yeah, so one of the updates is they're addressing some of the things that they found in the beta, or that people found in the beta and brought it up. One of the main things that I remember seeing was people talking about the health regeneration, and they said that it popped up on their radar and they are fixing it. There's some critical strike rating things that are being changed. Each item now improves your chance to get critical strike by X%. Slow fall no longer applies to your jumps.
It's funny how
I guess
they're finding bugs.
they're fixing they're finding bugs within the. It's really hard to even word how to say it because it's like it has existed before, but they're fixing dodge, parry, and miss because I guess they were not happening often enough. But it shows that they're still going through and they're looking at it and they are making changes as necessary and they're listening to what the community has to say and they're making changes and they're still trying to make it, I guess, as authentic as possible, aside from the things that they're committed to changing that they said, such as that sharding issue.
I don't want them to hone this down. I just want them to copy and paste what Classic was like. I don't want any of this tweaking stuff to make it feel more like real. I don't want that. I want the glitches and the stuff. I want the proper Classic experience. Even wanted to say it on the box. Just may contain bugs.
So Tom is team no sharding for the intro. He does not care about
No
server
shard.
overload. Okay, you can't play the game for
Burn
3 days. It does not care because, as we know, Tom loves not being able to install and play his games.
I want to see, like, I want to go into Ogrimmar 5 FPS and just experience the stuttery music and just that's to me that's Classic WoW.
Tom wants to have to go to the store and buy it and download all 5 CDs at once.
I hope they do that. It's like, yeah, pull out I've still got the box here. It's just-
So how
I feel like you should get a special pet for doing that.
Pet.
So how are you guys still feeling about WoW Classic? Sam, I know your stances have changed over time. First, you didn't really see why we would need this. Then you were a little bit excited for it. Where are you now? Are you still excited for it, or have you gone back a little bit?
Yeah, I've gone back to I don't know what's wrong, but I'm no longer excited about it anymore. I think I'm more excited about maybe playing with Michael in the original world, like I say, 5 FPS and Ogrimmar. You're really gonna see a whole new side of things of what actually makes Classic WoW. Why people talk about it so passionately, Michael. You're gonna find that out. But I think that's the side that I'm excited about. Although, I think I'm gonna have. I don't know if that's gonna work because they say it's included in your subscription, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I have a feeling that I would need a American conscription? No. Subscription. Hate when I get those two mixed up.
Get ready
I
to pay
would
a
need-
lot.
Yeah, I would need 2 subscriptions then to play. So I feel like that's kind of killed my buzz on that. That I might
Yeah.
need 2 subscriptions to play over in America anyway.
Yeah,
So,
because
yeah,
I
these
guess
limits-
that's how it works. That's how it works now. If we wanted to go play with Michael now, we would have to buy a American subscription.
Yeah.
Or I'd have to buy an EU.
I mean,
Oh, in that
okay.
case, we can just do that. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Why not?
That's a deal.
No.
Deal.
That sounds way. I'm totally hyped about classic again. No. Yeah, that kills my buzz. This freaking limitations with
Yeah.
regards to EU and US and even Oceanic with regards to World of Warcraft. Like, what the crap, guys? Can we just be done with that already? Can we just?
No, because this is classic World of Warcraft. Okay, couldn't change it
But
then.
why can't
Can't
I
change
select-
it now.
It needs
Why
to
can't I
be like
select
back
my
in the
region?
days. Back
Because
in
it
the
wasn't
days,
like
we
that,
didn't.
Tom. Okay,
Back
it
in
won't
the
even be
days,
on
we
the
didn't.
launcher.
No, we didn't have. We didn't have selectable regions back in the days, Tom.
Well,
I'm
Defend
still
yourself.
excited. I'm still
Defend
excited
yourself.
for it. I'm still excited for it. Just because, like I said, I never got to play the original, and I'm fully expected to be semi-disappointed and fairly critical of it, coming from a person that's played the modern game and never played it back then. While I can separate an appreciation for something and what it did for like a genre and how it helped change the face of things, but at the same time, I also can say like, hey, just because it was good then doesn't mean that it's good now. Or I can separate and say, hey, these things are good about it, but this isn't. One of my biggest problems is that every time people talk about the game, they always talk about like, oh, I remember my first experience here and there, and I'm like, even though I never played classic World of Warcraft, I've kind of already seen the world. Like, yeah, it's a little bit different in terms of landscape because it's pre-Cataclysm, and the stories might be a little bit different because those stories
when
are
did
no
you
longer
start
there.
playing?
I started playing like before Legion started coming out. It's like a little bit before like Legion came out is when I started.
So you actually never seen the original world.
Yeah, I've seen Westfall. Okay, I played the demo. So yeah, I've never seen the original world, so I'm excited to see that. But at the same
That's
time,
amazing. I
but
didn't
at-
realize
yeah.
that.
But at the same time, I'm not gonna have that immediate response that everyone else has had because this game has existed longer than that, and also I've played games on a scale of this or larger. So that feeling of like, oh my god, look at the gates of Ironforge. Like, I'm like, yeah, I've seen that gate.
I know that gate.
But it's kind of like that feeling of like, okay, like I understand what I'm getting into, and then truthfully, I'm looking forward to skills and a little bit more RPG aspect. I'm treating it as a single player game that I could play with friends to level cap, and then I'm probably gonna call it right there, to be honest, unless for some reason it hooks me in like crazy and I suddenly am like, I need to raid vanilla. I don't see that happening.
That's the thing about that though. When you did get to level cap, and I think me and Marty were talking about this recently about how things have changed with regards to gear and everything like that. Because in classic, you spent a lot of time in the dungeons at the end game, and even some dungeons just before the end game to gear up. And there was a lot of replayability due to the tables in certain dungeons, and a lot of them were really good as well. You had like your Skolomans, your Strathhome, kind of these lore enriched areas. If you kind of had that experience with the Warcraft world, but even as a player that wasn't too deep into the lore, I loved going to Strathhome. It was like, oh, the undead, the scourge, and it was such a good feeling about that. And I think that's maybe one thing I would be excited about, and it's going back to doing instances, especially the ones that you did while leveling up, because there was always a bit of a challenge to them, and just the way they operated, it wasn't like how leveling dungeons are now, where you don't have to think, you just go in and you press your abilities, stuff dies, bish bash bosh.
Yeah,
So
the tank picks up everything. The tank does AoE tanks everything. You heal the tank, the DPS AoE down everything. That's not how it works.
Hey, have you seen my tanking in a dungeon? All right, I don't pick up everything.
I've read the news, Michael. I've heard what
the
they're
guild
saying.
have put it up.
I
Good
read
guy,
the,
can't tank.
Washington Post, or no wait, what's your local paper? The California
I don't know,
Cuckoo
man.
or something. Yeah,
The news is depressing. I don't.
true. Except Blizzard News. Oh, maybe not. Anyway, Marty, classic WoW. Are you excited to go back, Marty?
Yes, get
You
the
ready to go back?
views, get the clicks with the cat.
I'm I'm not really sure, to be honest. On one hand, it sounds like it's a great idea, but on the other hand, let's be frank, how much time will I be spending in there? Because there's all these newer games going on. There is obviously current World of Warcraft, and I don't know. Let me tell you in 6 months.
That is a good point you bring up, though, because people forget as well that it's a time commitment.
Yeah.
It's almost like having another MMO to say, I'm going to focus on this character. And I don't know, the draw to me to MMOs is that my character is going to progress. They're going to add expansions. I'm going to take this character through various stories and continue to play that. And I think the idea of Classic is really, really cool, but at the same time, you're going to be at this end point with it, that there's no more. They're not going to add the Burning Crusade in or various other expansions. I mean,
You don't
they
know
might,
that. You don't know that.
I mean, they might, but then it's just like, why the heck would I start again? Why would I want to start again if they're just gonna do that?
My
know what I
idea,
mean?
my idea was possibly that they could, they could add those, but they would still keep it separate. Where like maybe you could
Yeah.
character transfer or like copy a character and transfer it over, almost like you do with the PTR, where like you get the information for your character and then you'd put it on the Burning Crusade server essentially, so that the classic server stays the same, and then eventually they just have a server for like every iteration. But I don't know what that would do to the player base.
Tom, we can go back to Wrath of the Lich King and kill the Lich King over and over again.
Yeah.
Or we could go back to Warlords of Draenor and make all the gold.
This is the end of the show. That's all we had for this week.
It's been a while
That's so
since we
meta,
mentioned
though.
it. I had to bring it up.
Going back to, I mean, if we ever live in a timeline, Michael, where there's such a thing as Warlords of Draenor Classic, we're done.
Well, Warlords Time Walking I think is coming up next in the main
That's
game.
true.
Like that's
Oh,
the
boy.
dungeons are the next ones. The Warlords Time
I
Walking.
mean, people have been asking for it.
If there will be a Warlords Classic server at some point, then and we're still doing this podcast, then that's when I stop. I won't be podcasting anymore after that.
That might be a time. That might be time for consideration.
Exactly.
But I mean, you think we've got it bad now? I mean, like we said, things could always be worse.
That is true. What do you guys want to talk about now? We have a few subjects. Should we get that S1 out of the way real quick?
S1?
Yeah. Starcraft II.
Oh.
Wow. Sure, I'll handle it. All right, for those who don't know, there is
Michael Henderson.
there's always a partnership between Twitch Prime and certain gaming things going on, where if you have Twitch Prime, you get like special drops and things like that for whatever game that they're advertising. And for the first time, they're actually teaming up with Starcraft II, where if you are a Twitch Prime subscriber, you can get some Starcraft II things, which includes an announcer and co-op commander pack. I believe it's all Aberthur. So he is one of the cooler voices in the game, one of the cooler characters. So if you enjoy that and you don't have his voiceover, you can get that, as well as you will gain access to him in the co-op area, which is really cool. And you'll get a couple skins. You'll get the Zerg console skin, which will change your overlay in game. You will also get a banner and everyone's favorite, a portrait bundle, because that's what we do. Yeah. So you can get that. There are also, I think, different things that you can get. Like there's a Swan, a machined bundle. There is a Vorazun, which is a Protoss for those who don't know, the Narazim. And you just go follow the link that we have in the show notes, and it will take you, and it will do a much better job of explaining everything than I am. I don't subscribe to Twitch Prime, so
this has nothing to do with the war chest, right? This is just if you have
yeah,
Twitch
this is
Prime,
separate.
then
This is
you have-
separate.
Okay.
I have some war chest information coming on later.
Ooh, that teaser.
Yes, the reason everyone's gonna stay is the war chest info.
I'm kind of wondering why Blizzard haven't got on this Twitch drops thing though, because I've been watching a lot of Hearthstone this weekend, and I would have loved it if I was getting something for doing that as well. I mean, I'm really enjoying watching it, but it would be cool as well to be like, hey, you've watched this for far too long, Tom, but here's a card pack.
They have done it, but just not with Hearthstone.
Oh, really?
They do
Jeez,
it. They do it
great.
with Starcraft, and they did it with Heroes of the Storm.
And they do it in World of Warcraft as well. So if you watch a lot
Right.
of Twitch Prime, then you'll just get mythic gear thrown at you. So
Don't even need to log in anymore.
no.
I thought it was already like that.
Oh, I'm fully geared from just watching the game.
I don't need to play anymore. I won.
Went on the phone app.
So, but no. I think it's cool that they're doing these things. That they do a lot of small things to try and keep Starcraft II relevant around continuously. So I think that's pretty cool. And I actually quite enjoyed last week when we played some Starcraft. That did came a little unlucky clip out of that I'm not too proud of. But actually I did quite enjoy it, and I was like, I need to play this a little bit more just to get the basic shortcuts down again, stuff like that, just to enjoy the game a little bit more. But it is still a fun game. I would love to hear something about maybe sequel.
Stop dreaming. All right, you're gonna get me in the mood, and then it's just.
I'm not the only one who can get Mike in the mood,
I
apparently.
know, jeez.
I'm easy. I'm easy. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna say.
But
I thought it was because I complimented him on his broad shoulders, but obviously not.
If you want to keep
But,
along the
but-
StarCraft II theme, I can segue into something else right now if you'd like.
Yeah, sure.
That would make so much sense. Let's not do it.
Yeah. So, speaking of StarCraft II, now is actually a very big time in terms of Blizzard esports. There's a lot going on right now. You have the Arena World Championships going on for World of Warcraft. You have the StarCraft II IEM Katowice that I think is just wrapping up. It might actually just finished up, but I was watching it yesterday and it was really good. You have Hearthstone going on. You have you even have Heroes of the Storm going on. It's the TESPA Collegiate Cup, so there's still some Heroes of the Storm action going on. And like I kind of alluded to earlier, if you are a StarCraft player, or you have StarCraft and you want to unlock things for the war chest, you can watch StarCraft on Twitch, and as you watch, I think it's like every 30 minutes or so, you'll get some XP towards your war chest. So just by having StarCraft on, watching some high-level play, you'll get rewards. You'll click it on Twitch every 30 minutes or so, and the XP will be applied next time you go in game. They did that with Heroes of the Storm as well, when it was still backed by Blizzard and not just a community. But yeah, there's also Overwatch League is going on as well. That's probably the most advertised, I think. So that's kind of in your face most of the time. But there's a lot of Blizzard esports things going on. So if you are an esports fan, now is a good time to head on over to Twitch and check it all out. It's good stuff.
I just want to say something about that very quickly, because obviously the Hearthstone Winter Championship is on right now, and they have part of their website dedicated to this. That's really good. Got the fixtures, they've got the schedule. You've got a little tick beside your champion if you went and picked one. And it's great. It's like, yes, this is so informative. This is what you want. It's got the dates, the times, everything you would need to keep track of something like this. But it hasn't been updated. The thing is going on right now, and it still says today's game is like games from 5 days ago. It's like, what the heck, Blizz? Why would you even bother having this if you're not going to update it? And
They fired the person who had the login.
Maybe they did.
We were having such a good show.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Marty lowering the tone. But it's just like it's such a good thing, because it looks like they have kind of grayed out areas for replays and of the matches and everything, and it's like, this is really good, this is really cool, especially because they've embedded it with the choose your champion as well, which is something that I feel like gets people more invested in supporting somebody through their championship, seeing how they do, and you're going to get rewards based on how they perform as well. And it's just a shame that this looks like it hasn't really been updated as this progresses, and it's just really sad that it's not being kind of followed through. Seems like a wasted opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's one of the things that we talked about a lot, both on and off the show as well, where, you know, a lot of the time, if you want Blizzard news, you don't go to Blizzard's own sites. You actually have to find it everywhere else. And I do feel like that's a lost opportunity. Why don't you want to, you would want to have, you know, people getting into your site, because you can also advertise for them, right? Hey, we have our shop over here. Remember, you can buy all these awesome games, stuff like that. So, yeah, it's a shame, and to be honest, I don't think we'll see a big change when it comes to their own websites going forward, considering the layoffs that were a few weeks ago, right? So, it's sad because I would love to just go to their sites, because, you know, it's the official sites, and get all the info I need.
As with a lot of things Blizzard, great idea, poor execution. After we had just given Overwatch, like, the site, like, a lot of praise, because we went on the site and we looked, and it was like, hey, these teams are going up against each other in just a couple hours. Like, tune in.
Yeah.
So
I think that's really important for, especially like the esports, that they're fully kind of backing that. You have this side of things, like we talked about it before, about schedules and stats, Michael. It's just something people who have that inside of them, like, understanding that and seeing it, knowing when stuff is taking place, is just really important when it comes to this stuff.
Yeah. We have some currency changes in Heroes of the Storm as well.
That's right. For anybody that hasn't been in Heroes of the Storm for a while, that includes me.
Me
first,
included.
And me.
First of all, I logged in, and I don't remember the last time I logged in. It was definitely before that whole debacle happened, but
BlizzCon?
Yeah, maybe. But the first thing that popped up when I logged in was, because I have Warcraft 3 Reforged pre-ordered. Yes, I did that. I don't care. I don't pre-order things for the most part, but that one I had to do.
It's fine.
Yes.
You don't need to apologize.
But I got a few heroes for free, just by having that purchase, which I think is like Jaina, Anubarak. Who are the other two?
Arthas.
It's
Uther?
not Arthas.
Arthas?
I think Thrall is one. It's not Uther.
Medivh.
No. I forget the last one. It was like 4 heroes that you get for free, which is, it's still pretty nice. I think, no. Warcraft 3, Alex Straza.
We're going to keep guessing until we get it, you know.
But yeah, so you get some heroes if you have that game pre-ordered, so if you want to log in just to check out, go ahead and do that. But also, a pretty big change. If you remember when they did Heroes 2.0, they made a change to the store, where now you had like crafting material, and then you had gems, which were purchased with real money only. They have now made changes to that, where now everything can be craftable. So there are, you could still opt in to pay gems for it, but now everything is craftable. So
cool.
It was a change that people were asking for. Like, it's like, why can't I save up my materials and target that instead of having to pay like just regular money for that? Now you can go in and you can craft it. So it's a great change in terms of currency things, and
So
like
that means you can really get the more of the cosmetic side of things then, without having to spend real money.
Yeah, obviously, since it's a free-to-play game, there's going to be a grind there in terms of getting all those materials, but what do you expect? So it is only cosmetic, so you don't have to worry about that. But yeah, so it's a good change in terms of people playing.
That is nice. I do feel like that because personally, how I see it, if I can grind my way to it, sure, that's great. But if I'm spending that much time, it also means that I'm having fun with the game, and that also means that I'm more inclined to maybe the next item. I'm like, oh, I don't want to do the grind again. Let's just throw some money at this game. It's fun, right?
And,
so I mean, that's my mindset at least. So I think this is a great change.
It is. More options is usually is a better plan to go. But a little bit on a somber note, really quick. I would like to give a shout out to the podcast Lords of the Storm. They recently had their last episode. They were a Heroes of the Storm podcast that I have been listening to for the last couple of years. They've done an amazing job over there, and I always turn to them for my Heroes of the Storm news and guides and things like that. They just felt like the passion wasn't there as much. Like they still liked the game, but with everything that's going on, their passion kind of fell off a bit. So they called it. They shut the doors. I wish those guys nothing but the best, and I thank them all for everything they've done over the last few years. So, wishing all of you guys nothing but the best.
Yeah, thank you so much. And hopefully, maybe that there's a chance they can come back, right, at some point.
There's
and
always a
say,
chance.
Now we have the fire again. Let's do it.
Yep.
Yeah. Before we jump into Tom's favorite topic, I also just
I thought you were
want
gonna
to add-
segue because you said fire, and I got really excited. I was like, Marty, an amazing segue right now.
No, I'm not. No, I'm
Okay.
not, because I want to quickly jump in and talk just quickly about something that is actually not in the show notes, but I just remembered right now, and that is Overwatch. We actually have quite a few news. Some news for Overwatch, right? I mean, we had.
Is this
We got
what I
the new
came
map.
over?
We got the new map, Paris. Paris is now included in the game. We also got
Oui,
a
oui.
new hero announced, Baptiste,
Oh yeah,
the
really bad
combat
at doing show notes. Really bad.
combat
at doing show-
medic, and he looks amazing. And I want to jump back into Overwatch now and play it. I know I can't play him yet, but I want to if he was in the game because he looks really cool.
How do we? I think it's a silent P. Baptiste. I don't think it's Baptiste.
Or maybe it's Baptiste. Sorry, yeah,
Yeah, it's
might
a
just be my Danish
One of the first
pronunciation.
things I looked up when you get a new hero, how the heck do we say it properly so we're not butchering it? Silent P, Marty. The silent
Sorry.
P.
There is no P at all, right? So it's just Baptiste.
Oh, there is no P? I thought there was a P.
Oh, I don't know.
Is there a P? Michael, is there a P? Can we get confirmation?
In what? The hero?
The name.
Yes, there is a P.
There's a P. There's
Okay,
a P.
okay.
There's a
but
P.
Don't
it's silent.
pronounce
Okay,
the P.
Okay. Baptiste.
Don't
Batiste, right?
Baptiste.
Baptiste.
Oh, it's just Batiste.
Okay. Okay. Anyway, he looks amazing.
Totally
Right,
regretting
Michael?
you bringing this up right now, Marty.
Yeah, I told. Yeah, I should have done that. Never go off script.
Never go off script.
So I had like just heard about this, I think, last night, and it just completely went over my head. Where like I didn't even register what I was listening to, and then you mentioned it, and I was like, oh yeah, that kind of happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, hero number 30 as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
The big 30. Our game is growing up.
Yeah, it's getting quite the roster.
I was just thinking recently about how Overwatch has been kind of quiet, like outside of the esports stuff. Like, yeah, we had the map, but I was like, like, where are the heroes? Where are the? It seemed like there was a big chunk where we were getting a whole bunch of things going on. Be like, hey, cinematic here, story stuff here, like all these things are going on, and then all of a sudden, man, we always just keep coming back to BlizzCon. But it just seemed like it all slowed down, and it's good to see that there's some life being pumped back into the game. Get it? He's
Yeah,
a medic.
it definitely does. Definitely does.
Oh
God.
boy.
I'm sorry, that was bad.
Never go off script, Marty. Come on.
I'm
Look what's
sorry.
happened. Can we edit this out?
No, this is the best. This is what the people come for.
Okay.
But no, I do feel like we have quite a while. We've been talking about should we actually do a show this week or not, because the news that's there is just it's stuff we don't really want to talk about. That's not fun. It hasn't really much to do with gaming, and then the last 2 weeks happened, and that passion is sort of slowly coming back. The fire is slowly coming back, Tom, and that segue to
Oh yes.
Year of the Dragon, very fiery in Hearthstone. There's a lot of news. I saw an article and I was like, oh, there's a Hearthstone article. I started reading it and I was like, oh my god, there's so much content in there. I cannot be bothered. I'll wait for Tom to explain everything to me on the Blue Recluse this Sunday. So go.
Okay. No pressure. No pressure to get this all 100% right.
Just read it.
Yeah, so just read it right off the page. So we're getting ready to say goodbye to the Year of the Raven, where it was okay. There was something about it though that just wasn't perfectly great going forward, and that's the fact that in Witchwood, we had the introduction of Gen Greymane and Baku the Moon Eater, which were those cards that when we saw them, we're like, oh, if your deck only has even or odd cards, it's gonna make your hero power cost 1, or it's going to upgrade your hero power. And apparently, this wasn't great for the game. It's done a lot of harm with regards to the meta, and it's just really dominated how decks have been played. And with that in mind, Blizzard have just been like, yeah, we're gonna put these in Wild a year early. They're getting Hall of Famed, and they're gone. They're gonna be saying goodbye to Standard. So if you own one of these cards or both of them, which I do, you will get full dust refund. Not a refund, but you'll get to keep the card, but you'll also get 1,600 dust per card as well. So if you have the dust available right now, I would recommend crafting them both because you will get the refund for them anyway. So it's effectively getting free legendaries, which is always nice. And on top of that, we're seeing some of the classic cards move into Wild as well. So we're seeing Neutralize from Druid, Doom Guard for Warlock, and Divine Favor, which I think is a really good one from Paladins, is also getting moved over into Wild as well. So each year we usually see a couple of cards move over, and that's the same again. And you'll get dust value for those cards moving in. So you always get like a little like pocket of dust to start the new year off, and it's really nice that you kind of get that to start off with. So what can we expect? It's called Year of the Dragon, so dragons probably. We don't know what the first expansion is going to be, but I'm sure we're going to get an announcement very soon. But I think the big thing coming out of this was the changes to the solo content. And a couple of years ago, when Blizzard decided to make the switch away from adventures and just go with the free expansions per year, we were like, oh, but adventures were pretty cool, actually. You know, people thought they were pretty fun. They've kind of taken maybe the best of both worlds right now. We're not too sure. We'll see how it plays out. But it looks like they're flashing out adventure content a bit more to make it have a bit more substance and a bit more value. And with that, it is going to cost gold or money to unlock, in addition to if you pre-order the expansion as well. I'm not sure if they're gonna maybe lower the costs of the pre-orders. Probably not. But if you're looking to get into the solo adventure content as well, that's going to be like wing by wing basis. So there's going to be like 5 wings to that, or 5 chapters as they're calling it. But it looks like they're adding a lot to that with various modes, and also various new heroes as well that you're going to be able to unlock, but also carry them into other modes as well, or other parts of the solo adventure, which sounds really interesting. So I don't know if it's going to be like you upgrade your deck and that's a deck that maybe you have for the solo adventure side, and we're still kind of waiting for more details on that. But there's also going to be like tracking your victories, and also there's going to be like a lot of encounters with this as well, just to give the replayability value.
It sounds like a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the old adventures, and I really enjoyed a lot of the new things that they did with the the solo the PvE encounters that we've been seeing. So now merging those two into one, it sounds really interesting. The only thing that I'm a little bit worried about is that now you have to pay for this as well, right? So that means that not only do you pay for the cards for the expansion, you also have to pay for the PvE encounter. Is that how it's going to work, or do they bundle some of it together?
I mean,
or do we actually know that yet?
We don't know that yet, but that could be a possibility, Marty, that they do some sort of bundle, perhaps, or perhaps not. Can't confirm anything because we don't know, but you will get the first chapter free with each solo adventure. So when you complete a chapter, you'll get 3 card packs from the new expansion as well. And if you do go through and purchase this completely, and you complete all 5, you'll get a card pack, and a golden classic pack. So overall, I think you get around 15 card packs if you complete that, and a golden card pack as well. So if you were just to spend, for example, gold, you're probably losing a bit of value with regards to card packs. If you're just spending money, I'm not exactly how many card packs you get for $20 these days. It could be close to around 15, where you get 16 in this case with the golden pack. So I don't think it's too far off money value wise if you wanted to do that. But with gold, you're definitely losing out a bit of value. But if you enjoy the solo side and you get a lot of value out of that, minus the cards, then you might feel it's worth paying the money.
I think it's pretty clever. Sorry, Michael. I did see your finger, but I think it's pretty clever because this is actually something that would make me more inclined to spend money, because I'm not really spending money on cards these days because I'm more enjoying the PvE side of things. I don't really play too much on the ladder and things like that, but so I don't really spend money in in Hearthstone. I don't really spend that much money in Hearthstone, so this would actually bring me back into the fold, and I might start spending money again. God damn you, Blizzard.
I just wanted to add in on that same note is that this seems like it's catered towards people like me that maybe I don't play the competitive mode so much and I just kind of want to play here and there more for fun. So rather than spend $20 on card packs and try to figure out how to build a deck, I would much rather spend $20 on this whole adventure where it's like, hey, we're going to give you this hero, we're going to give you decks to play with, and you're going to go through this adventure. Like, that is for me. Like, that is definitely something, like, it's not even a question that most likely I will buy this. Like, I don't even know what else is going to go into it. I don't know what the adventure is, but this is more inclined to get me to buy something than anything else in the game currently.
Yeah, same here.
I'm really interested though, because recently I've been playing a game called Slay the Spire, which is a roguelike deck builder. It's basically adventure mode, and every time you play it, it's a little bit different, and it's really good, so addictive, replayability through the roof, and its price point is around the same as what an adventure is going to be in Hearthstone. And if I was to compare the two, obviously I won't know exactly how much is in this specific adventure and how it's going to compare to a game like that, but I think if you're looking for a single player experience, I'll weigh up once it comes out and see the exact depth, but and maybe still be telling people to maybe check out that game. But I think it's good to see them maybe shaking this up a bit, because it was starting to feel a bit stagnant, and maybe just combining the best of adventure mode and how they've been doing the single player modes right now, maybe this is a bit more accessible for people. I mean, the price point isn't too bad, $20, and again, if it's got the depth there, the replayability, and there's some progression with that as these continue, then maybe people will take that on board. Maybe people will feel that they're getting enough value out of that because you're getting the card backs as well. So as always, I think the solo stuff is something that we specifically here on the Blue Recluse are always excited for, and that sometimes can be like a real deal breaker as well, because I remember back in the day playing Naxxramas and various other adventures, Marty, we were like, oh, who's gonna kill, who's gonna get to the end first, and there was something quite exciting about adventures, even though it didn't really add too many new cards to the game. But I think in some ways it felt more impactful when it did, when you look at some of those adventures in the past, the cards that got added. But we'll see indeed. Along with this came some changes to the arena, which I think this is a suggestion that's been put out by quite a lot of people. I like to think that I was one of those people as well. But they're looking to change up the arena draft pool. So they're going to be rotating sets and adding new ones twice every expansion. So in the first arena draft pool, instead of it just being the standard cards, they're gonna, I think they switched to standard, maybe put it back to wild. I can't exactly remember where they ended up on that, but they're going to have these sets. So to start, they're going to have basic, classic, Curse of Naxxramas is going to be there, Whispers of the Old Gods, Mean Streets of Gadgetzan, the Witchwood, and then the first expansion of the year. So it's not all the expansions, it's not all the adventures from the past, just taking a select few. And I think that's really cool, because if you take, for example, standard or you take wild, it's either one or the other, right? But if you're actually to pick a few and not all of them, you don't tick all those boxes, then that can potentially create interesting matchups where you're like, oh well, we don't have, for example, League of Explorers. You know, we're not going to see League of Explorers cards or certain cards that you know, might be picked more often from certain expansions as well. But it keeps the pool somewhat narrow, that, you know, you're not just having this deck full of garbage as well that doesn't synergize. So definitely interested to play more Arena with changes like this.
It also means that they can make some, you know, keep the Arena meta new all the time, right?
Yeah,
Because they can just, you know,
exactly.
switch out. Oh, and then this in this season we won't have these expansions, but we have these over here instead. So that sounds like a pretty good change in my book.
Yeah, and it makes deck building more exciting, I think, as well, because you're not, like you say, you're not always gonna have, because you can get like Hearth Arena where it's like, oh, this is definitely the best pick, but because of the different expansions that's going to be included, that's going to be different every so often. So it keeps that fresh, which I think is important for that side of the game, where I think doesn't get as much love as it probably should do for what it does. I mean, I think it's a mode that definitely has a lot to offer with regards to the Hearthstone experience, where you want it fresh, you want it funky, you want it a bit unpredictable. The Arena is the place where you can get it. It can be pretty harsh environment sometimes, but you can go into a lot of games there and not really know what to expect, which is part of the fun with Hearthstone, which sometimes on the ladder you kind of know what you're gonna face a lot of the times with regards to kind of the meta decks as well.
Yeah, that is very cool. I'm sort of looking forward to see what's going to happen with Hearthstone going forward. And one of the things that I've read as well is that then this year, so Year of the Dragon, the next 3 expansions is going to, instead of, you know, right now it's like 3, each expansion is its own thing, its own theme, whereas going forward the whole year will be the same theme, overall theme, right?
Yeah. Is that right?
That's what I read.
I mean, if you read it, if you read that, then because
I just thought that was pretty cool. So, you know, that there's like that all the 3 expansions actually connected over the year, that they're connected to each other. I just thought that was a sort of a cool thing that yeah, they could do.
no, I didn't read that anywhere, because usually it's just the name they give to the year, because they have the year
Well,
of the raid.
I don't know if Year of the Dragon is the theme, but, you know, all 3 expansions will have the same
so
the same theme. Yeah.
it's not like we've got Dragons for Hire and, you know, everyone's coming back, Deathwing's coming back, sunglasses on, Ysera's coming back, just sunglasses on, they're all dressed in like black suits, and they're all just walking down the street like, yep, we're back, you know, wipe your
Guess
mind.
who's back? Back again.
One thing I do want to bring up, I mean, there's a couple other changes, like random card back option, which, you know, when you have so many card backs, you don't know which one to pick. I mean, you do, because if you just got
The pizza one.
if you just got your chest reward this month, you got the pizza card back. You don't need random card back. It's pizza for life.
I don't think I got
baby.
that one.
Oh man, you're
I told you, man, that tomato
hardcore.
and green stuff
I
on
thought-
the pizza, like, no, it's not mine.
I thought you were from Chicago.
Yes,
Yeah,
which
man.
is why I can't eat that thing.
this square pizza offends me greatly. Yeah, one thing I wanted to bring up, just because you guys talking about deck building, especially
Yes,
Michael,
bring it
is
up.
they're introducing Smarter Deck Builder. And Marty, remember the days when we would used to play Tavern Brawl together, and we would do something called Random Deck, where we would just not put any cards in our deck, but we'd hit OK, and it would just fill it with random cards. And then they made this change where they tried to make it fill it with cards that were in kind of an order, and you always kind of got the same cards. Well, now they're scrapping all that crap, and they're making it smarter. So if you build part of a deck and then you hit kind of build the rest of this deck for me, it's going to pull cards from data in the actual game, from the highest win rate to cards that are more successful on the ladder. So it's going to try and look at your deck and actually build it better for you by taking actual gameplay statistics and saying, oh well, this card's doing really well on the ladder, here you go, we're gonna put it in your deck. So it's not gonna give you old Magma Rager or something silly like that. It's gonna actually be built on real data, real information, and that might make it easier for a lot of people who maybe you've built like half a deck and you're like, oh, I'm not really sure how I should finish this off, or maybe you just got a couple of cards left. It's gonna help people maybe do that.
That could be something cool we could do as well, where we're like, if we have like a night where we're streaming games and stuff during the show, we pick like 5 cards that we find fun or interesting or whatever, and then just build me the rest of the deck of this.
Build me the Magma Rager super deck.
Yeah, exactly. Or something like that, and then we play each other and then see who wins.
Yeah. Less thinking, more clicking. That's how I play games. So does that excite you, Michael? Does that excite you?
It does. I was glad that you brought it up. I was going to if you didn't. So that's always for me. You guys know I just like playing decks where it's already built. So that is just good for me. I like that.
Yeah.
Cool. Is that it, Tom? Is that all?
I mean, there's gonna be other little things, like if you're working towards your golden hero 500 wins, arena wins now count. It's just like finally that actually matters. It's making arena feel more inclusive, not just like this outsider that's like, yeah, sometimes you're okay, but we're not really gonna make you feel that special. But yeah, there's gonna be some giveaways as well. Watch out for that. Some card packs just to kind of say goodbye to the end of the end of what's it called? The Year of the Raven. It's gonna give some card packs away and
Goodbye, Medivh.
wait, it wasn't Year of the Raven, was it? Or was it Year of the
Year of the Mammoth?
I don't
Or
know,
was
because
Mammoth,
it says...
or was it Raven and then Mammoth was before that?
I'm really confused because they say
Yeah, it says in the beginning.
Year
It
of the
says like look back at the Year of the
Year of
Raven.
the Raven, then they're saying Year of the Mammoth.
That might be.
I don't know, man. I'm really confused because I thought it was Year of the Mammoth Raven. You know what? Nobody really comes to this show for solid. Well, I mean, what year is it? What year is this? Year of the Mammoth. That's from April 2017. Yeah, I don't know what they're talking about mammoths for. Man, it's Year of the Raven. It's Year of the Raven. What are they?
Hello.
Is that a mistake then? Like in this?
I don't know. It's a pretty well done mistake because they got the image and everything.
I know, I'm reading this. As we bid farewell to the sets retaining outstanding, we thought it would be fitting to give them a truly mammoth sunset. Logging. Oh, they just made like a pun.
And they're
During
giving
the time
packs.
we lost
They're giving packs that were prevalent during Year of the Mammoth.
Oh, this is what it is. It's just hidden underneath here. They're going to be having a tavern brawl based on Year of the Mammoth, which will include you can only use cards from Ungoro, Knights of the Frozen Throne, Kobolds, and Catacombs. So that's really confusing. Mammoths, ravens, dragons. Something.
Oh my!
I hope Dusty doesn't listen to this part. I always seem to mess up the Hearthstone. It's like what I was so sure what year it was. Now I don't even know what year it is. This year's Year of the Dragon. That's all we know. So that's all I'm gonna say. Just kill it, Marty.
Yeah.
Get me out of here.
Lost orders! Lost orders!
Here we are. I'm getting you. I'm bailing you out, Tom. The show's over. Let's end it on that amazing talk about mammoths and ravens, and talk about that we have a not this show coming out that we just want to shamelessly quickly plug, and we have no clue what the subject is because we haven't recorded it yet. And Michael wants to say something.
Yeah, on shamelessly plugging, I would like to throw just a quick notification out there. We put a tweet saying this, but the Genome Project for the month of March will not be on Wednesdays as it normally is. There's some scheduling conflicts going on, so it will be Mondays at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is our normal time, just a different day. So if you like seeing me and Frasley level up some gnomes, come by on Monday, not Wednesdays.
And there we go. And while we are at the shameless plugging, then I don't know if it was this week or last week, but on one of the previous, not too far into the past episodes, Whispers of War with Sil, I joined in and talked, and we talked about stuff. I don't know what I'm saying. Don't go off script. But anyway, check out Whispers of War. It's a cool podcast with Sil, good friend. Check it out. I'm there. And I'm pretty sure that you, Michael, and you, Tom, will be invited back as well. I heard a little rumor about that.
Ooh, yeah.
So yeah, just wanted to quickly bring that up. But besides that, I don't think there's too much else to say. Stay around, because after the show we have the Frasley Report. Let us know your thoughts about anything we talked about on this episode, or if you have your own questions, feel free to contact us. Tom, how do people do that?
What am I gonna say today? You know what? I'm just gonna shake it up today. I'm gonna be like, yeah, we're on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at the Blue Recluse. And if you want to leave us an iTunes review and say just how terrible this was, that they got all the information wrong, they went off script all the time. Like I listened to them, and actually the things they were saying wasn't even real. Leave us a review and say 5 stars, but it was kind of not what I expected. That's okay, but as long as you put 5 stars, but then just write your true feelings. We're part of the Dragon Powered Studio Network, and you can join our Discord, Dragon Powered. Roar! Year of the Dragon, you know, it makes sense. Come over to bluerecluse.eu/discord, where there's channels for all our shows. We've got some awesome shows over there, and also channels for gaming and Final Fantasy 14 and random free games, free stuff. Woo. And so yeah, definitely come on over, and you can find all that information, including the show notes for this episode. Boy, you're probably gonna need it, and more on our website, thebluerecluse.eu or bluerecluse.com, because 2 websites, 2 more chances to get a random hit.
2 websites is better than 1.
Spoken like a true web developer. Although, would you want 2 websites as a web developer? That means twice the work, right?
Actually no. But yeah.
Exactly.
Anyway.
I think that's a fitting way to end this. Absolutely.
I just quickly want to throw in there as well that if you want to help us out, there's obviously our Patreon. I don't even know, did you mention the Patreon, Tom?
No, I didn't do it this week. I
No.
feel like we're being too pushy with that.
Yeah, so I just want to say that's one way to help us, but if you don't want to, or if you don't have the money to throw after us, another thing you can do that would help us as well is actually download the app Radio Public. It's a podcatcher. Sorry, not a caster. We are the podcasters who are on the podcatcher, Radio Public, and what they do is that they usually play a little short advertisement in front of the show before it plays, and then we get a cut, and then Michael can get a haircut. It's amazing how it works.
What are you trying to say?
I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying. I was just making.
End the show. End the show.
Frasley, take it away.
Frasley Report, a short broadcast by me, the Awesome Gnome, about the World of Warcraft. Wait, what? You mean I'm not sounding like my normal self? Ah, phooey. I logged into the wrong character. I've been on my Horde Hunter alt Into. Well, I guess it's too late now to change over. So this week we saw the announcement of a music festival happening in Voltune, the Lyre Festival. And that's Lyre with a Y, which will be a festival held to promote the musical talent across Azeroth. It is being created by Dart Hagglesnap, who we interviewed about the resort of Sargeras on the Broken Shore. And we found out recently that the plans fell to pieces. Some of the investors include Trade Prince Scallywix. The festival will be held in the Cracked Coast, which is between the Terrace of the Devoted and the Port of Zimlan. Just watch out for the Sethrak, Dune Mosses, and the Sand Elementals. Officials have told me that they will be gone before April, which is when the festival is set to take place. They joked about holding it in Darkshore and even calling it the Fire Festival, Fire with an I, but found a documentary on Netflix and Hulu about a similar festival and decided to change their name. They even wanted to call it the Burning Tree as an homage to the yearly event held in Nevada, but Alliance organizers on the committee were none too pleased. This event is being held to promote peace amongst the factions. Musical guests include the cover band that formed after the death of the two members of the Goblin and Gnome band, Ronnie and Claire, who sang the song We Are All the Same in Darnassus, right before it was soundly torched to the ground by Sylvanas' evil clutches. The Goblin YouTube celebrity Vax will be performing his hit song It's Everyday Dough at the event. Hope Diamond and Jay the Tavern Bard are amongst some of the BlizzCon talent that the event organizers are hoping to attract. There's even going to be events happening around the festival like rickety plank surfing in Voldoon and kite flying along with the zip lines. Tickets are on sale now, and you can even get a luxury villa suite, which are first come, first serve. Well, I've been Frasley, even if I haven't sounded like it. Sorry about that, I logged into the wrong alt. It's just been a lot of fun playing my Horde. But until next time, be awesome.
This show is brought to you by Dragon Powered Studio. Find more at dragonpoweredstudio.com.